Hey everyone, I hope you're having a fantastic day so far. Today, I want to talk about how you can manage your energy for 2024. Now, for many of you who have been following my journey so far, you'll know that I am a contractor slash independent consultant. I'm also a trustee, which is acting as a non-executive director for a charity slash business, you could argue. I'm also an author. I do a lot of speaking engagements, whether it's podcasts or talking or whatever it may be, as well as a coach and many other things surrounded coaching or surrounding coaching, should I say. And so there's a lot of things I need to do to manage my energy, okay? And this is why I talk about portfolio careers and the opportunities it brings, but also the fact that energy management is a really big factor to it. And so I want to talk about some things that have affected me and how I've been able to combat against those things. Okay. So the first thing is the COVID effect. Let's be real. COVID was a thing. Whether you believed in it or whether you thought it was a conspiracy or not, it was a thing. Okay. And it affected us for at least 2.5 years. 2.5 years. And I can think of so many different things that have contributed to us still being affected by COVID. There's deep emotional burnout or even fatigue. You know, that feeling that you can't just shake off this feeling of, oh, I can't be bothered. Oh, I'm burnout. Why are things not working? You can't be bothered to do things. Okay. Not everyone's experiencing this. Some people are going out and, having fun and blah, 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 blah. But some people are still within that space. So there's recognizing that actually COVID was part of that. So you have to give yourself a bit of grace. I always say I don't want grace in my house, okay? But sometimes you need to let grace in your house. And grace needs to accommodate you and comfort you in certain ways so that you can understand that actually this is not just you experiencing this. The second thing is you feel a sense of isolation or you do less socializing. I know this happens to me a lot, yeah. So this is a very busy season for me right now. And usually I say this to my friend, oh, I can't be bothered. I can't be bothered to go to this place. I can't be bothered to do that X, Y, and Z. But when I'm there, I'm having a great time. I have more energy. I feel energetic, all this different stuff here. And so it's recognizing that even though your mind may play tricks on you, when you end up socializing and doing these things, then you are going to receive energy. So it's important to be proactive when it comes to your friendships or these different sort of like opportunities to hang out with different people, go to events, whatever it may be. You never know what it can do for your mood, but also what it can do in terms of opportunities as well. So bear that in mind. There's also changes to routines, okay? Changes to routines when it comes to sleep. Are you sleeping later because you're trying to discover how you can become a millionaire within the last 5 minutes before it's midnight? Or are you changing when you, let's say, for example, wake up as an example, and what you do in the morning? Like maybe you used to exercise, maybe you used to meditate, maybe you used to drink herbal tea, who knows? Maybe you used to journal, but now you don't do those things because of that fatigue. Sometimes you need to force yourself in those positions and do one small thing to start doing those things again. Okay. And I'll talk about diet in a bit more detail a bit later on. But what are you doing to manage your diet? What are you doing to manage your food? Is your water intake on point? These are all really important questions because, again, the COVID effect really stopped us from doing this stuff because of this fatigue and emotional burnout. There's also this idea of screen time. We know screen time has been rapidly increasing. And if you look at the COVID season, I'm sure for a fact, you could probably check your phone that your screen time has skyrocketed. May have gone down a little bit, since we've been out of this whole space and phase. But your screen time has probably increased. And this is why businesses boomed, especially online businesses and people doing coaching, all this kind of stuff there. It boomed because more attention was given to the screen. And so obviously, if you give more attention to the screen, there's more radiation that's affecting your mind, your brain, or whatever it may be. Okay. And you are fixated on this external world. So this is going to have some contributions. And finally, there's going to be less movement, okay? Less movement, less walking, less activities, all this kind of stuff there because of the COVID effect. Now, my approach for me personally, addressing all of this stuff, and I'm not addressing everything, I'm not going to pretend like I'm perfect, but my approach has been adopting some level of routine. So, okay, what does this look like? This looks like making sure that, for example, I wake up in the morning, I look through the things that I need to do on my Notion template, the life navigation system. I don't always do this, but the majority of the time that I do. Then I write my LinkedIn post because it's my form of journaling. And then after that, I get up. I don't have breakfast usually because I'm doing an 18 6 hour or 16 8 hour fast, okay? And I go straight into work. That's just what I do. I'm at my station. This is my station. I'm typing away. A break between 12, 1, 2, whatever it may be, depending on what I'm fasting or what sort of hours I'm doing for my fast. I continue with the work. I have a break, spend time with the missus, all of that stuff, or maybe pick her up from the station. And then I continue with some work after that. And then I may watch a show later on or play some FIFA or whatever it may be, and then go to sleep. Okay. There are times where I may read my book. Okay, when I say read, I'm really listening. But this is the routine, and I do it again and again and again and again and again. And the routines are determined based on what I'm trying to achieve. So I'm not just doing any random routine for the sake of being in some sort of rhythm. Rhythm's important, don't get me wrong, but there needs to be purpose behind it. So that's what I'm doing. Now, when coming to Deliveroo, okay, there was a time where I was delivering, or not even delivering, sort of like ordering Deliveroo like crazy. And it created some issues health wise for me. And I'm suffering for that now, okay? I'm not saying it's a direct correlation, but of course it's linked. And so this has looked like, okay, turning off the app, taking the app off my phone. Now, is it completely off? No, sometimes I download it, I'll admit. But do you know what? It has genuinely minimized. And I can prove this based on how much I've spent during the month or the last couple of months from that moment. Okay. So manage how you spend when it comes to eating out, takeouts, all that kind of stuff there. Also, with the whole staying socially active, for me, birthdays is a big thing. So during this season, there's a lot of birthdays. So it's me being proactive and going to these birthdays, saying happy birthday, connecting with people, just checking in with people, seeing how they're doing. I'm not actively going to like Eventbrite or whatever it may be and checking out what sort of events there are. No, this is genuine connection that I'm trying to build and foster. Maybe there are connections that I build when it comes to people on LinkedIn, as an example. And so what I may do is just, schedule a check-in with them, see how they're doing. That fosters into a genuine relationship. And if there are events that they're invited to, they would most likely invite me to, which has happened. And so all these different things are allowing me to be social, not social just behind the screen, but social in person as well. And it's also giving myself grace. Now, I don't like to give myself too much grace because I feel like I become complacent and then nothing really happens. But it's understanding, yes, this is a situation, but what am I doing about it now? And it's those small steps that really make the difference. Okay. So this is what I want to bring into the new year. So the COVID effect is what I've just spoke about there. The second thing is the age effect. Okay, so I'm in my early 30s. Yeah, I'm graced and blessed to be in my early 30s. Okay, some people may be like, that's old. Some people may be like, you're not old at all. Okay, and some people may be like, I hear you. I'm on the same vibe. Okay, but to me that's not old. I'm sorry. And it may sound cliche, but for me, the new 30 is, or the early 30s is like the new 20s in a way, because of the way we've been managed. And we can talk about generations and stuff, but that's a whole different topic altogether. But when they say to you, oh, when you hit your 30s, it goes downhill. I'm not gonna lie to you. I've seen some evidence of that, where you get a niggle in your leg, or your back's hurting, or you just start walking, and all of a sudden you got cramp. It's just a mess. It's a complete mess. However, I don't attribute that purely to age. I think it's contributing based on health and lifestyle. And I'll tell you what I mean. Okay, there have been so many studies on this, but it's clear that if you have poor sleep, if you don't have the right protein intake versus carb intake, and if you're not building muscle, these things are going to happen. The number one determiner, should I say, or determination, is that the right word? I don't even know. The number one factor, should I say, for ensuring that you have longevity in your latter ages or latter years is making sure that you have the right level of muscle. Okay. And what contributes towards that? Protein and exercise. Okay. Building muscle, not cardiovascular and all that kind of stuff there. Cardiovascular is good, but building muscle. And so I have realized over the years where I've been injured or I've had some sort of issues, I haven't been able to go to the gym consistently, I haven't been eating good intake. I've realized that my energy levels have dwindled, whether I was, in my late 20s or 30s. So when I did a number of experiments where I was fasting, I think I did a 2.5 day water fast. I did a 36-hour water fast, 48-hour water fast, all these different fasts, like during, I think it was the summer season of this year. I could see my body changing. Not only was I losing weight, my protein intake was higher, okay, and my muscle mass was increasing as well. I didn't do excessive exercise, but it helped, and I felt more energetically better. I looked different, I felt different, I was seen different. And so it's understanding what basics do I need to do properly. And so maybe for you, those basics look like, okay, making sure that you have at least 7 hours sleep and going to bed at 11 p.m. Maybe it's ensuring that you have less rice on your plate and more chicken, whether it's chicken breast or chicken leg, it's chicken, okay? Or having some sort of protein shake if that works for you. Or maybe it's ensuring that you do push ups and squats every day at home. It doesn't have to be elaborate. Sometimes this whole elaborate thing is a distraction for procrastination. Okay, stop procrastinating. Think about what just needs to be done. Think about it. If you were in your elderly, years, and I'm not going to say ages because I don't want to discriminate, but if you were in your much, much elderly years, okay, and you were to bend down and pick up something, would you be able to do that based on the trajectory that you're on right now? What muscle movement, okay, are you doing to ensure that you build that muscle in your arm, in your shoulders, in your quads, whatever it may be, to ensure that you can do that? This is what performance is all about, okay? This is what longevity and sustainability is all about. So think about those things. It doesn't have to be that deep, but make it consistent. And the final thing is diet. I spoke about diet before. And I think diet is an underrated thing. We all know it's important, okay? But do we respond to it? And I would say what I've realized the trick is, for me at least anyway, if I want to reset my diet, if I want to start again, start afresh, fasting and protein shakes, telling you, and going to sleep on time. Let me break this down for you. Okay. So just before I start a health journey, usually what I do the day before is I'll have a protein shake. That's the first thing I'll have. And the reason I have the protein shake is because the protein, I guess it activates and wakes up the cells in such a way where it is, I guess, manufacturing more properly. You can do the research on this. I'm not explaining this really well. It's a great podcast session by, I think it was the Diary of the CEO, where this lady talks about protein stuff and all that kind of stuff there. If I remember, I'll put the link below so you can watch it. It explains it extremely well. So don't listen to me. Listen to that woman, okay? So the protein really starts the protein synthesis, which helps with the breakdown of foods and muscle repair and all this kind of stuff there. And it's that muscle repair, it's that sort of like stuff there that helps with, again, building that muscle, allowing you to have the maintenance, all of that kind of jazz. Anywho, I do that. I eat my, 3 to 2 meals a day or whatever it may be. But I cut it off either at 6 o'clock or 8 o'clock to do a fast. Now, I'll decide to do 18 hours or 24 hours. If I'm feeling good, I'll do a 24-hour fast, okay? And I'll only break that fast with protein. Your protein could be egg whites, okay? You can get them in those cartons from Sainsbury's or Asda, whatever it may be. It may be a protein shake. It may be something like a steak or whatever it may be. Obviously, there's going to be other things involved like fats and all that kind of jazz there. But typically it's with a protein shake because I know that's working for me. And I use the vegan blend, I think it's Belgian chocolate protein shake. Okay, that's what I use. I think it's 40 grams and 400 mils of water. Nothing else in it, nothing added, none of that stuff. When I do that consistently, not only do I lose weight, I feel better and I have more energy as well. Okay. Now, that coupled with exercise over time, and I don't always exercise excessively with this because I see results. That is what will get you maybe the body that you want, the energy that you need to feel, the vitality that you need to experience. But it works. It's the consistency around it. Do I continue fasting? I do, but not crazily because I'm not trying to kill myself. Okay. I may do an 18-hour fast, maybe every so often, and give myself like a 4-hour window to eat, or maybe a 6-hour window to eat. It depends. Okay. Now, of course, this all, what comes into play is your sleep and all this kind of jazz there. You need to calculate it for yourself. You need to get proper advice. Maybe speak to a doctor, speak to a clinician, speak to a nutritionist, speak to whoever, or watch whatever, but do the research yourself. And this is all about understanding what works for you as a person. So I'm saying all of this to say that when you move into 2024 with all these big plans, with all this big, yeah, it's going to be a great year, do you have the energy to back it? Are you making your word your bond? Because if you don't have the energy to back it, forget it, my friend. Sort out the energy, sort out those foundations. Remember Maslow's hierarchy of needs. At the base of it, for those of you who remember in school, you got Mrs. Nurgle, Mrs. Gren, okay? Movement, respiration, sleep, nutrition, exercise. Is it exercise, excretion? That's it. Reproduction, and I think it's growth. Who knows? Okay. But it's all about health at that bottom of the pyramid. And that basis, again, allows you to do those other base needs when it comes to your career, money, safety, insurance, all of those different things there. And of course, it doesn't need to be done in order, but it helps if you have that stuff done in order and patterned. So hopefully this has given you some insight. Slightly different type of video today, but I wrote this today on LinkedIn. I thought, okay, let me turn this into a video and really express what I mean here. So hopefully this is giving you some insights. If you want to see more videos centered around portfolio management or life management, then make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. And as always, my friends, understand, reach, and expand. Peace.